We are going to install Ubuntu 25.10 on Windows using VirtualBox. We visit the VirtualBox website and download the Windows host. We wait for the download to finish. VirtualBox is Oracle software that provides full virtualization across multiple platforms. First, we need to download the Ubuntu 25.10 ISO image. We save it on the hard drive, so the installation process is faster. Then, we try to install VirtualBox on Windows, but it fails. It requires the Visual C++ redistributable package, so we exit. We search for the package on the internet. It redirects us to the Microsoft website where we select the package, for example, x64. After the download finishes, we install the package. With the dependency correctly installed, we proceed to install VirtualBox again. Now we click Next, accept the license, accept the installation features, click Yes twice, Next again, and finally Finish. Then VirtualBox launches and we click New. Then we enter the virtual machine name, select the Ubuntu ISO and click Next. Next, we enter the username and password. In my case, I assign 16 GB of RAM and 2 CPU cores to the virtual machine. The virtual machine starts, but it fails to boot. Even though we provided the ISO path, it was not read, so we set it as a DVD. Now, the virtual machine boots correctly, and we see the Ubuntu Live environment. We switch to full screen, and it shows how to exit. We start the installation by selecting the language and keyboard layout using detection. The remaining options are left as default. We enter the name, hostname, username, password and its confirmation, choose no password on login, and select the location. The installation begins. Ubuntu 25.10 is supported until July 2026. For longer support, an LTS version is required. The installation finishes and we reboot. The system boots for the first time, and then we increase the screen resolution. It can also be used in windowed mode, adjusting the display resolution. We open the terminal and increase the font size. We install Sysbench to run benchmarks and compare them with Ubuntu on native hardware. A 90% ratio is good. Below 80% is bad. We run Sysbench to measure CPU performance with one thread, achieving a very good result. Then we test with 5 threads. We now test multiple threads directly. Despite having only 2 CPUs, it shows good performance. The mutex test shows average results. Now, we run the memory read test, which delivers average performance, and the memory write test shows similar results. Next, we test the disk input and output. Both read and write speeds. Results are very low, showing poor disk performance. In conclusion, running Ubuntu on Windows using VirtualBox delivers average overall performance and is not ideal for high workloads. That concludes the first part of the video on installing Ubuntu on Windows. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. In this second part, we will use GNOME Boxes, so it automatically downloads and installs any operating system using QEMU virtualization. Our host is Arch, and we see that Boxes is the latest version in the extra repository. We install it and review its dependencies. Boxes runs on any desktop environment. In my case, I am using KDE Plasma. We press the plus button, see the catalog, and select Ubuntu. The Ubuntu release we selected was 25.10, which weighs more than 5 GB. We wait. Ubuntu is the most well-known Linux distribution, although in recent releases its performance has declined. Check the top card. After downloading, configure the virtual machine. I selected UEFI, 16 GB RAM and 25 GB disk space. We wait for the Ubuntu Live ISO to boot. The distribution has flavors, and one of the most notable for performance is Ubuntu. We select the language keyboard layout, allow it to use the wired connection, and leave the remaining options as default. Then we choose to erase the disk and install Ubuntu. We enter the name, hostname, user password and its confirmation and location. We wait for the installation to finish. This is not the LTS version. It is supported until July 2026. Ubuntu was founded in 2004 with South African and British origins. It is a secure and modern system used by millions worldwide. We reboot, and in Boxes we click to start the system for the first time. We inspect the desktop, panel, and application menu. Now, for a performance test, we will install Sysbench on Ubuntu. On Arch Linux, I already have version installed. We check the Ubuntu version, and as expected it includes version 1.0.2. Arch Linux is rolling release and always up to date. We run Sysbench CPU on the Arch host and get 2919 events per second. Then we run Sysbench on the Ubuntu guest. The result was 2703, similar performance. Now we run the CPU test but with 10 threads. Arch scored 21601. We perform the same test on Ubuntu and get 21301 events per second. Very similar performance in the virtual machine. That concludes the second part of the video on installing Ubuntu on Arch Linux. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Ubuntu 26.04 is out. See what is new in this version. But what about CPU, memory and disk drive efficiency? As mentioned, Ubuntu has lower performance but remains compatible. We download the image and boot it on an HP Pavilion laptop. When entering the installer runs, we enter the language, select the keyboard layout. If not found, we can click on Detect. Define the internet connection. Select what to install, use the interactive option and select the default install settings. Activate the proprietary drivers box. Choose to erase the disk. Select the right drive. Do not choose encryption and continue. Create an account entering the name, user, password and confirmation. Deactivate the box that requires entering the password. Select the time zone. If connected to the internet, it will show the correct zone. Then review options and click on Install. This Ubuntu version is called LTS, providing long-term support with updates for 5 years, and with Pro it would be for 15 years. One new aspect is the GNOME 50.1 desktop environment, which brings many changes. Then server updates are mentioned. Upon finishing, click on Restart, then press Enter, and when it turns off, extract the device used for the installation. When entering, it presents the welcome and we click Next. It shows location services and style. We select the dark mode. Review the desktop, panel and menu. We see the apps installed by default in GNOME, along with system utilities. That concludes this video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, leave a like and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.